Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down an announcement that, on the surface, seems pretty simple, but it could literally change everything we know about spaceflight and military strategy. We're talking about the world's biggest rocket, a legendary launch pad, and a plan that's about to redefine national security in orbit. So it all kicked off with this tweet from Elon Musk, right? A simple congrats to his team and a thank you to the US Space Force for a new launch pad deal for Starship. And look, on its own, it's just a nice message. But when you really dig into the context, you realize this isn't just a thank you note, it's the starting pistol for a whole new space race. So, let's get into it. You have to understand, getting approval to build a new launch complex, especially at a place like Cape Canaveral, is usually a huge, long, drawn-out process. I mean, these deals can take years, they get bogged down in lawsuits, regulatory reviews, the whole shebang. But this one, for the historic Launch Complex 37, just flew through, incredibly fast. So what is really going on here? Well, the speed of this deal is the first major clue that something much, much bigger is at play. And the fact that this pad is managed directly by the US Space Force, not NASA, that's a massive signal that this whole project is a top-tier national security priority. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It took ULA's Vulcan rocket over 5 years to get certified for these kinds of missions, and Blue Origin's legal fights delayed their own launch pad for years. But for Starship at SLC-37, SpaceX starts clearing the ground in June, and they've got the final sign-off by November. That kind of speed just doesn't happen without some very powerful friends clearing the path. So the real secret, the reason for all this speed, is actually buried deep inside the official environmental documents. See, this isn't just about giving Starship another place to launch from. It's about building a launch pad for a brand new, military-grade version of Starship that is way bigger and way more powerful than anything we've ever seen before. Okay, so this is where it gets really wild. This new launch pad is being designed for a vehicle of just sheer, unbelievable scale. The specs that are laid out in these planning documents describe a rocket that is an absolute giant, far beyond any of the current civilian models. First up, its height. We're talking a staggering 150 meters. That's nearly 500 feet when it's fully stacked. That is significantly taller than any version of Starship that's ever been discussed publicly. It's a true monster on the launch pad. And then there's the power. The Super Heavy booster alone is expected to generate over 10,500 tons of thrust right at sea level. That is a monumental leap in raw power. It's the kind of force you need to lift an unprecedented amount of military hardware off the planet, and do it fast. And it doesn't stop there. The Starship upper stage itself is getting a major upgrade. It's expected to jump from 6 Raptor engines to 9. That's a 50% increase in engines, which gives it a huge boost for payload capacity and the flexibility to do really complex things in orbit or deliver cargo with pinpoint accuracy. This chart really lays it all out. This is not just an incremental update. I mean, look at every key metric here: height, thrust, engines, fuel. The version they're planning for this Space Force pad is bigger, stronger, and just way more capable than even the next generation of the civilian starships. So you have to ask, why? Why does the military need what is essentially a multi-role space supertruck? Well, the answer lies in this really high-stakes program that's aiming to completely revolutionize global logistics and project power in a way that's never, ever been possible before. The main mission is called the Rocket Cargo Program, and the idea is to just shatter the limits of traditional aircraft. No more waiting days for ships to cross an ocean or for vulnerable cargo planes to fly into a hot zone. We are talking about a space-based delivery system for the most critical, time-sensitive missions imaginable. Just picture this. A crisis erupts at a remote military base somewhere on the other side of the planet. Instead of it taking days to get resources there, a Starship can be loaded up with, say, missile defense systems, or humanitarian aid, or even troops, and deliver it all in under 60 minutes. From a geopolitical standpoint, the ability to respond that fast completely changes the chessboard. And really, it goes way beyond just cargo. This super rocket is also about deploying the next generation of massive intelligence satellites, shoring up critical GPS and communication networks, and just giving the US an asymmetric advantage. It's all about ensuring American dominance in space. Though, of course, any tech this powerful is going to raise questions about its potential offensive capabilities, too. But just as it seems like SpaceX and the military are about to run away with the whole thing, a revitalized competitor has just revealed a major upgrade to its own massive rocket. And it's a clear signal that this race is far from over. Blue Origin has announced a new version of its New Glenn rocket. They're calling it the 9X4, and it's all about adding more engines. It's getting 9 on its first stage booster, up from 7, and 4 on its second stage, up from 2. Now, this isn't just some technical update. It is a strategic move to position New Glenn as a serious workhorse for both NASA's deep space missions and critical national security launches. So, how do they actually stack up? As you can see right here on this chart, even with its very significant upgrades, New Glenn's max payload is projected to be around 70 tons. Starship, in a fully reusable mode, is aiming for nearly 3 times that at 200 tons. So yeah, while the competition is definitely heating up, Starship still holds a commanding lead in pure raw capability. But this competition isn't just about size and payload. It's really about two fundamentally different approaches to building rockets. Two competing philosophies for how you can reliably and affordably get to space. On one side, you've got SpaceX. Their whole philosophy is built on using lots of smaller engines. This gives them redundancy, they can lose an engine and keep going, and it lets them mass produce them and make changes really, really fast. On the other side is Blue Origin, who's been following a more traditional path that focuses on the extreme reliability of just a few very large engines. But here's the twist. Blue Origin is changing. Under their new CEO, Dave Limp, who came from Amazon, the company is injecting a whole new sense of urgency. They're adopting these Amazon-style principles of scaling fast and tightening workflows, moving away from their old slow is smooth, smooth is fast mantra to compete directly with the breakneck speed of SpaceX. So what this all means is that the game has fundamentally changed. You've got this military-backed Starship that's pushing the boundaries of what's possible at a blistering pace. And at the same time, a newly aggressive Blue Origin is making sure there is real competition. This isn't just about building rockets anymore. This is an intense rivalry that's going to define our access to space, both commercially and militarily, for decades to come. The only question is, how fast and how far are they going to push each other?